Jaguars, I am going to share with you a secret family recipe. My mother created this with her siblings on summer break when they were home and their mom was working, and they tried to make regular pancakes and they didn't know the recipe. So they created their own recipe, which turned into rubber pancakes. So this is not like a regular pancake, but I'm going to share with you our family secret recipe of rubber pancakes. So we're going to start with 2 cups, this is a half cup, 2 cups of flour, and then don't gasp right now. You're going to use half as much sugar. So we're going to do a whole cup of sugar. Now these are pancakes you don't put syrup on, so it's not going to be that sweet. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of, actually we're doing a half a teaspoon of salt. Okay. All right, I just added 2 cups of milk, and you stir it, and sometimes you get some lumpy flour and you just squish it up against the side to kind of get some of the lumpy flour out of there. But it's supposed to be really runny. This is not like regular pancake batter. So once we have stirred it really well, I'm going to put in 1 egg and a teaspoon of vanilla and 1/3 of a cup of oil. Any kind of oil is fine. Once you have the last ingredients in, we're going to mix it up really well. Get that egg all scrambled in there and the oil mixed around. Scrape your sides. Keep going until none of the oil is on there and you don't see any streaks from your eggs. Can you see how runny this is? It's supposed to be. That means you did it right. Okay, we're going to get our griddle out and we'll be back in just a second to show you how we cook these rubber pancakes. Okay, our griddle is hot, so we're going to spray it with spray. And I'm going to take a ladle and we're going to just spread it out because these are thin. They're a little bit like crepes if you've ever had crepes, but a tiny bit sweeter and a little bit thicker. So I just kind of spread it out a little, and I always like to do my 2 long ones so I don't waste space on the griddle. I'm going to let these sit. Last time we did pancakes, we talked about you can kind of tell they start to be done when they're not shiny anymore, when it looks a little bit dull. So we're going to let them sit here until that happens. Okay, so we can see that they're not very shiny around the edges, which means they're probably ready. So we're going to start over here with our first one, and we're just going to give it a little flip. They don't really brown. If you leave it on too long, you can see it gets a little bit of brown right there. But we don't want them to turn brown. They stay nice and light. And they don't need to cook very long on this side. They're mostly cooked through. So we just leave them on. If they start getting really brown, you can turn your heat down. I just turned mine down just a little bit so they're not, your griddle isn't quite so hot. So we're just going to leave those on just for a second. So the way that we eat these is we just put butter on them. They're so sweet and so yummy already. Kind of have a rubbery texture. That's where we get rubber pancakes. And so we just put butter on them. For our family, it's just grown-up tradition from my mom that you also don't use a fork. You roll them up and eat them with our fingers. And so it's a finger food. So I'm going to let Katie, my daughter, have these first couple pancakes, and we just stack them all on one plate, but I'll let her show you how delicious these can be. Okay, this is my daughter Katie, and she has buttered hers, and now she's rolling it up. They are kind of hot, so you need to wait a little bit, and then we just pick it up and eat it. Butter drips out, so you need to stay over a plate. But these are our famous rubber pancakes.